Hey, what's up, guys? Alright, so we got a brand new chapter, and I gotta say, even though we're only about 4 chapters in so far, this was probably the most interesting one to me, at least personally, simply because of all the world building that was done in this week's chapter. Because that's actually something I was looking forward to with this brand new series. Since we're at a brand new content with the main cast, I was hoping we'd actually find out more about it, find out about the people, the sounds, all that. And it seems like based on this chapter, each time we actually go to a new place in this brand new continent, we actually are going to get some world building done where we find out about the people, the city, the culture, all that kind of stuff. So I'm actually really looking forward to that because, like I said, that's something I was hoping we would actually do during the series. Although, despite the fact that we actually did get a lot of world building done in this chapter, we didn't really see Merkfovia in this chapter at all. He's only briefly mentioned throughout the entire thing. So it didn't really do much to drive the plot forward. I mean, we found out some brand new stuff, like some brand new mysteries that were introduced in this chapter that we're going to have to wait till future chapters to find out, the answers to. But for the most part, this chapter didn't really do much to drive the plot forward. Anyway, we check on Natsu and them, and we see them actually get to this place called Hotel Journey, and this is actually the place they plan on staying at while they're searching for Merkfovia in Elmina. And basically, as soon as they get there, they end up seeing this like fish just hanging out on the receptionist's desk, like no one else is around, just this dead looking fish. And when Natsu actually picks it up and is basically about to feed it to Happy, the fish actually turns into a human. And what we find out is that this guy, I think his name was Kirishima, or it's something like Kirishima, but not exactly that. Anyway, he basically tells him, hey, I'm a fish, you could turn into a human, just get over it. And before he even really gives him any explanation, before he can even check them into their hotel rooms, he basically says, hey, I'm late for a date, I gotta go. Just use whatever fucking rooms you want, I'll be back. And then before he leaves, just as he's about to leave, he says, hey, by the way, if you're planning on staying here past, overnight, make sure you drink the special free drinks we provide in your rooms. Just because if you don't, you won't survive for that long. But yeah, that's basically all I had to say, and then he just books it out there. Now, obviously, Urza and them, they're all suspicious about exactly what's going on with this hotel. They're probably thinking, we should probably find some place else to stay. But they feel like it would be a hassle, and B, this place is up for free, so, they might as well basically stay there. Although I gotta say, after reading this chapter, when they actually showed the special drink that the guy told them to drink in their hotel rooms, if I was them, I probably would have found a new place because this drink looks straight up like poison. I mean, it's in a whole, beaker from, a mad scientist lab. And for the fucking cork of the bottle, it's a fucking skull head. Like, seriously, I probably would have found some other place to stay because that thing just looks like straight up poison. And I wouldn't want to drink it. But anyway, the seven of them actually end up drinking it. And then we cut to the next page and we see basically Gray waking up underwater, like his entire room submerged. So he starts freaking out. He's trying to figure out exactly what's going on. He tries to find everyone else. And basically, he just realizes while he's panicking that he's actually able to breathe and talk underwater. Then when he looks outside, he basically sees the entire town is submerged. And he sees Natsu, Happy, all of them basically just swimming around having a good time outside with the fish. And what we find out is that basically the entire town at night actually basically gets overrun by water during high tide. So the entire town gets submerged. And if you're a human who actually doesn't have the ability to breathe underwater like the fish do, then unless you drink that special potion that they provide in your rooms, you basically drown. So that's the reason why they actually had him drink it. But yeah, we basically just see everyone enjoying themselves underwater. We see Natsu and Happy kind of swimming around with some fish, which is surprising. You would think that Happy would actually be trying to eat them. We see Lucy, Wendy, and Charlie just kind of hanging out in their swimsuits, just kind of enjoying themselves. We even see Urza fucking racing against a shark. Which, by the way, the shark has kind of female features, like it has lipstick on. It has really girly eyelashes. And it's kind of a running joke throughout the entire chapter, or at least during this part of the chapter, where Urza basically keeps calling this fish Sumiku, or the shark Sumiku, which is actually the name of the fish that the fish receptionist guy, Kirishima, was actually late for a date for. So the entire time Urza's calling her that, and then we find out later on at the end of the chapter that this shark isn't really Sumiku, it's actually some fish called Sumitsu. So it's kind of just like a running joke, the fact that Urza's, mistakenly identifying this chick as the shark or the girl that Kirishima was after, on a date with. And I don't know about you guys, but when I was reading this part of the chapter and I was seeing basically everyone just enjoying themselves in this underwater city, I was really getting some vibes, it was kind of like Disney's Atlantis, that movie where basically the main characters find this underwater city. This is kind of what it felt like to me, and it's just, for some reason, I just had that vibe when I was reading this chapter. But yeah, they're all enjoying themselves in this underwater city, and then fucking Gray, he had to ruin it because he seems to be the only one who actually remembers exactly why they're there. He ends up asking Kirishima exactly, hey, we're actually here to find some information about Merkfovia, the water dragon god. Can you tell us exactly where he is or any information you have on him? And this instantly pisses off literally every single fish. Kirishima gets pissed off. He's like, hey, fuck that. We find out from him that basically some humans came to the city a few days prior to basically take out the water dragon god. So they're a little, they're a little defensive when it comes to that subject, and they instantly start attacking Gray, Natsu, and all of them. And basically, they all go after them. For some reason, Lucy's the only one who loses her bikini top, so we had to have her fans over smoke with her. And instead of fighting them, basically they all just decide to run away from the fish in order to figure out exactly what's going on and, figure out an actual game plan for surviving the situation. Now, when I was reading this part of the chapter, when Kirschman actually mentioned the fact that, humans came to the city a few days prior in, search of the Water Dragon God, it kind of had me thinking back to, the fairy tale that Lucy mentioned earlier on, or, a few pages prior in the chapter. And in the fairy tale, she basically says that, there was this boy who saved the turtle's life, and basically to show his appreciation, the turtle took the boy underwater and let him enjoy his time underwater. And at the end of the fairy tale, the boy ends up turning into a jellyfish. And that had me thinking, alright, what if this is actually foreshadowing what's going to actually happen, or kind of how already happened to the humans that Kirschman mentioned? What if those humans actually ended up drinking the, potion that lets them breathe underwater? But because they are actually after the Water Dragon God, the fish people use that potion actually as a magic curse to turn them into the jellyfish that Natsu and them ran into on their way to Elmina. What if that's actually what the jellyfish actually, the reason why they're so attached to Natsu and them are actually trying to get their attention so much, is the fact that they're trying to warn them not to go there, because they would end up falling into the same curse that they did if they discovered that actually going there to, basically take out the Water Dragon God. So, it's kind of, foreshadowing, especially with the fact that in this chapter, when Lucy's actually mentioning the fairy tale to Wendy ends up imagining herself as a jellyfish, just with her hair, and she actually looks just like the jellyfish that we saw in the previous chapter. So yeah, I mean, that could just be foreshadowing the fact that, maybe actually will some come to a curse that actually turns some of them into jellyfish. Anyway, after that, we end up checking in at the end of the chapter with the Fairy Tale Guild. We see basically Lizana and Mary Jane asking Toka exactly what kind of magic she actually can use. And we find out that she actually uses water magic just like Juvia. And when she's actually teasing Juvia about the fact that she can use water magic, we see Juvia actually get pissed off, and she actually wants to go over there and confront her. Gajeel stops her because he's like, hey, listen, we're investigating this chick, so we can't really do anything to make it seem like we're actually, suspicious of her. So, cool your jets and wait for the right time and the right place. And that's when as soon as Gajeel actually ends up getting done telling her, just wait, they look over and we see that Toka has a fucking cattail. And seemingly they're the only two people who actually notice the fact that she has a cattail in the entire guild, because everyone else is just talking to her and looking at her like she's just the same normal Toka they've been introduced to. And that's pretty much where the chapter ends. Now, this pretty much already throws, this fact that she uses water magic already throws out the theory I had in the last chapter, that maybe she's actually one of the penetrate dragons just basically coming to search for Natsu herself. This actually kind of throws out the theory basically because I doubt that it will get two penetrate dragons with the exact same attributes. Because if she really does use water magic, I don't see any reason why she would lie in the situation. Just in case, if she comes to a situation where she actually has to use water magic in front of them, there's no reason for her to lie. So I'm guessing she actually isn't a penetrate dragon, especially now that we see the cattail at the end of the chapter. But this reveal at the end of the chapter has me even more interested in finding out exactly what Toka's deal is. Because it was already interesting when I thought she was a penetrate dragon, because that makes sense. Since Natsu's the one credited with taking down Acnologia, it makes a lot of sense that the penetrate dragons, if they heard about the fact that he took them down, would actually come and try to investigate Natsu for themselves. But the fact that she has, water magic and that she has a cattail just proves the fact that she's not a penetrate dragon. So it has me wondering even more what her connection to Natsu actually is. And I'm starting to think that maybe her story about the fact that Natsu saved her from bandits isn't all that untrue. Maybe it's just that she was a cat or some kind of animal that Natsu saved from bandits, like some kind of magical beast that bandits were actually trying to capture and sell off. And Natsu saved her, and because of that, she's actually really grateful to him. She learned how to use magic to transform herself into a human, and she basically just came in order to, just to be with him. The story checks out. But we'll have to wait for future chapters to find out exactly what the actual truth is when it comes to Toka. But that's pretty much it for the review. That's pretty much all for the chapter. Like I said, it was pretty interesting. A lot of world building. Didn't really drive the plot forward. Although it did introduce some new mysteries, like the fact that, made the jellyfish that we saw in the last chapter actually were people who were turned into jellyfish. And the fact that, Toka has a cattail and figuring out exactly what's up with that. But, yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are on the theories I brought forward. What are you thinking when it comes to Toka? How do you feel about the fish people, about the world building we got in this chapter? But, yeah, like I said, that's it for the chapter. That's it for the review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, drop me a like, subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Comment down below your thoughts and theories, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.